So let's see if the Two of Swords comes up. Oh, the moon. Okay, I do want to talk about the Three of Swords. Because in this deck, there are two cards that represent the Three of Swords. There's a masculine card and there's a feminine card, which is the one that I drew. And the the Two of Swords is, should I find it or just describe it? Let me find it. No, let me just describe it. It's a faceless person holding two masks, and beneath that, they're kneeling down, and beneath their legs are like two swords crossing. And so for me, that I guess could represent before you come into your human form, it's like choose your character, kind of, and then the two faces as sort of the, you know, like a man or a woman, like the masculine or feminine polarity. And you, so you choose your character, right? And then each character gets their sword, so it's like the battle of the sexes, kind of. And if you choose the feminine Three of Swords, it's a war, it's a battle that you're entering into, that is the game that we're playing on some level. And she has to, you see how much pain it causes her, that she has to basically separate her heart from herself in order to play this game, because the heart can't participate in war. So she sets it free like a bird, but it's so painful to let go of a part of yourself. And it's this thing that's so beautiful. But it's like that's what happens on the feminine polarity. In a way, you know, that's like a vague interpretation, but that's all I got right now. And the masculine Three of Swords is, he's holding a book and his head is open, and the book is, there's just like letters just flowing out, like he's taking in so much information, right? It's letters coming out of the book which turn into birds as they rise up and go inside of his head. So the swords and birds are closely related here in this deck. So it seems less inherently painful, but it's its own challenge, this feeling like, okay, I gotta know more, I gotta learn more, I gotta figure out like the strategy and the way, and you're taking in so much stuff. And I think that on that masculine side, you can get lost in the pursuit of knowledge, because you'll see that the Four of Swords is swords that are, there's a helmet that's sitting on that's sitting on the what's the word, like just a wall, and swords that are just laying, kind of like leaning against the wall. And so it's like no one's fighting, like no one's actually putting into practice, no one's learning how to battle. There's an idleness. And so she has gotten lost in the pain. She's not picking up her sword. She's just relishing in the pain of what she had to give up. And he doesn't feel that he's ready yet. He's like, no, I need more information. I'm still learning. I need more information. So there's a certain idleness that comes with that. And then there's the Five with the idleness, that need for battle, which both possess that the inherent desire and the need for battle. Like that's kind of, it's part of the purpose. And so it sits there in him and it festers until it turns into something perverse. That's what happens to energy when it's not put out. You hold it in and you hold it in, and the bigger and more intense it is, like it can become a really awful, perverse thing. All these thoughts and ideas get attached to that big, thick blob of stagnant energy in your body, and it can turn into, in this case, like a kind of sadism and a feeling that, he's not out battling something his own size, like he's playing around with something that can't defend itself from him. And so you can see that that's reflected in him as well. Like he feels a certain degree of powerlessness and weakness inside of himself. And it's not good for anyone. There's the Four as described. Idleness. I feel like that I feel like I use the word resonates a lot, and I don't want to use that word, but it's the word that comes up. It may not be the perfect word, but what I'm trying to say is the South Node and the North Node, I keep seeing they're moving into the Libra Aries axis in astrology. Libra's going into the South Node, Aries into the North, and it represents a shift in how we approach relating as a society over the next 18 months. My natal north node is in Libra and south node is in Aries, so it's opposite. But I have been experiencing these themes. I've been reclaiming my Aries side, and in a way it is a form of taking up battle. I'm seeing that more and more, and I'm starting to feel more comfortable with wielding the sword because all I've ever done is lay it down. You know, before the battle even begins, I surrender. And that's just how it was. But I'm good with a sword. You know, we're capable. We just need practice. And it doesn't make us bad people. I'm finally letting go of that notion. People need to battle. And it feels good to you know, get into a little fight, a little spat, you know, a little sword fight, and hash it out, and then both of you are just sharpening your blades, you know. Even with people on your team, like family, for example, is a great place to learn how to sharpen your blade, because that's kind of what we're for. We're on this same team, but we're all different. We have different skills and different ways of moving throughout the world, and so we can learn a lot from each other if we wouldn't get butthurt and take it personally and be so afraid of each other. Oh yeah, it's good shit. Choco, electrolytes. So anyway, that's been really fun and really interesting. Because I am familiar with Four of Swords. I am familiar with that feminine Three of Swords, just the pain and the heart pain and depression and being stuck in that negative place. And the Four of Swords of the idleness of just of not ever taking to battle because of, you know, in our society there's the whole morality thing and being a good person, and then growing up like in the church adds to it, and I could never stand up to my, you know, the man who wielded the sword in our household. But now I can. There's the 6, there's the 8 of Wands. I don't really want to look at those right now. What I really wanted to talk about, and I think I can relate it to this a little bit perhaps, but it was this sort of a realization that I had, and I'm gonna grab a piece of paper and I'm gonna draw it out for you. 1 second. I always come way too prepared. Okay. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, baby. Little pregnant mama. Oh, so pregnant. Maybe. We don't know yet. Okay. So, it's about the yin yang. It's about masculine and feminine energies. It's about the twin flame experience. And something that'll make it a little bit easier, I think, that you may never have heard before. So all very exciting things. Let's do feminine, masculine. So I'm just gonna skip to, I mean, this could represent any relationship. My personal experience, wait, hold on. Yep. Okay. Wait. Yeah. Okay. Let's try that. Okay. Great. Okay. Sitting up there, feeling so high, far away to hold me. You know I'm the one who put you up there, flame in the sky. Does it ever get lonely? And cool. So for the sake of this lesson, it doesn't feel like a lesson, conversation, I'm gonna do the yin yang like this. Yeah. Down. Are you with me? You know I don't care either way. I just wanna hash this out a little bit, okay? Because it felt so freeing. It was it was just a good feeling to think about it like this. So, okay, so say that this is the relationship entity between a man and a woman. So this is the dude's side. He's mostly masculine energy, contributing to this thing. So how I think about it is there's like two people okay. two people, and when they come into relationship, they've got their own energy. They've got their own like yin yang each, right? But when they come into relationship, it makes something new. It makes a new like energetic entity, which is how they interact with each other. Okay, so in my experience with the twin flame thing, I don't know, it's kind of just a word now. I don't know how I feel about it. My journey with that is pretty much, it's been about 4 years. It's been emotionally intense, cataclysmic in a way, like the whole shebang, that whole thing. But pretty much the whole time it's been in separation, except like maybe the first 4 months or so. Okay, the rest of that is trying to heal and recover from those feelings. So I believe that it's been hard to understand. I've had a lot of conversations with this person in my head. And I've had a lot of thoughts around it, trying to make sense of it, trying to like redeem the feelings with the reality, trying to bring those together to make sense. And I believe that so I couldn't understand how he could be able to just let it go. It seemed like so easily after the intensity of the feelings and the connection. And I realized that it's been a couple of days since the thoughts, and I thought, man, that would be cool to like put that up as a video so that other people can see it, because I think that other people who would understand and resonate with that would gain so much from it. But I haven't I haven't done it because I'm weak in my voice, in my mind, like in explanation. I've been idle for so long when it comes to speaking my truth, right? And but here I am, I'm doing it, so I've got my cat, I have my electrolytes. I just don't have thoughts or ideas in my head. It's because I I told myself last night maybe I would try to wake up early today, and I woke up at like 5 something a.m., like 5:30, 5:40, 5:30, and my eyes still felt tired, and it was too early, and I couldn't find a reason. I did get up to let the other cat out of the garage, because she sleeps there at night, and I fed her, and I fed my cat, and I stood outside for a minute and listened to everything chirping, but then I was like, meh, I'm just gonna go back to bed. And so I proceeded to do that for the next like 4 or 5 hours. So it's like past 11 now. I finally got out of bed. But the brain, my eyes feel fine now, but there's not a crispness, right, to my thinking. There's not really clarity. It's more of like a beating kind of. I'm just trying to keep myself emotionally steady and fine, and I have been doing that, and I'm getting signs that there's nothing I need to do. Like, just to chill, and I do feel that, and I think I just need to appreciate that more. Like, I've done the work. I've been doing the work for so long, and I finally have come to a place, I can't believe it, a place of peace and a release of the connection, that's what they call it, the connection, to really like let it go. I finally got there. And so I'm kind of just like waiting and chilling right now. Well, people continue to work out their shit. And I'm learning how to like be okay in that and get that masculine side to just it's okay to just be, to just enjoy, just chill. When the physical relationship ended, when that happened, I left. I walked away because he had already left me energetically. Like, I couldn't feel him anymore. And because of feeling like I was disrespecting myself, I felt I had to walk away, and that's what I did. And I'm proud of that. I've always been proud of that. And then we, texted a little bit the following months, called once or twice, and then that last call ended with him. It seemed like it was going fine, and I sort of said, I guess I was kind of like open and vulnerable in a way. Like I said that I'd never seen myself with anyone before, like long term before him. Like, that it was different, and I felt like he was just dragging me along like he did with girls from his past. Like, he couldn't let anyone go, but he would kind of just like collect them or kind of just drag them along. I didn't say collect them. It's been a few years, but just something like that. Like, and that was so cruel. Because when I was vulnerable, when I said like I really like could see myself with you, he kind of took a back pedal. I think is what happened. And then And then I said that, like, it felt so cruel. And he said, don't worry, you won't be hearing from me again. And I had this, like, relief for a second, and I just sighed. I said, okay. And then I said bye, and I waited for a second, and he didn't say anything back, and so I hung up the phone. And then just this wave of, like, intense grief, like, washed over me, and I just sat out there and cried. This was during COVID. I was with my cousin in Hawaii on the Big Island on a macadamia nut farm, quarantining. We had traveled around Hawaii for a few months after that point, so this was our first quarantine. And so that was kind of, I think, where it ended the second time, I guess. And then I went through all my stages. I tried hating him, tried forgetting him, tried reaching out to him, tried being patient with him. I tried reaching out to him a few times. I really, like, started just putting myself out there, like, just like, here's me. Oh, don't you want this? Oh. Anyway, just through desperation and being honest with myself where I was at, like, I was just going through my process. And, you know, I think he enjoyed that. I think he loved the attention. Like, why not? And he was never mean or cruel to me, but, you know, most of the time he was not responsive. He has been the entire time with the girl whom he was seeing at the same time as me. So it was a polyamorous relationship. And he started seeing this girl, like, right about the same time. I think just after he started seeing me. But so I've really, like, my involvement in this has really held them together. But I think, so what I couldn't understand, and where I thought there was so much cruelty and distrust in him, is from the very beginning we connected, and he told me that he loved me. He said, I've never fallen in love so fast. We were on all these drugs at an EDM show. This was, like, our first date, I guess. and I had never felt that kind of love before. But then when the first, like, I don't know, little conflict or little, like, question came up for him, I don't know when that was, but probably, like, pretty soon, the question first popped into his head, like, is this this was, like, the fantasy dream, and now something evil has entered that fantasy. We didn't have the tools, the emotional tools, or the communication tools to work out that conflict inside of us. And so all it did was create distance until he'd, like, the conflict created distance, and the distance that I felt created conflict in me, which I expressed, I'm sure, you know, all these things, you know. And till it was like, we were separate. Like I couldn't feel him, like I said. I'm getting to the point. I guess, I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking about chorizo burritos right now. Dinner last night. Brunch today, yeah. I gotta go get some eggs, but ooh, chocolate chip cookie dough. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm going to the store after this. But anyway, so the masculine energy is more grounded, right? It's like in the earth, of what's real, of what you can see and touch, that sort of thing. And so when our relationship was like physically over, he was able to take all of his masculine energy and remove it. Getting a little shiver to say, that's over. So he removes that much of himself from this energetic entity. And to me, who still very much is feeling the relationship and the connection and the ethereal in my emotions, I feel like it feels like killing it in a way. Like now this entity is on life support. You know, I'm keeping it alive. What's the word? Synthetically? You know, something like that. Because to me, this thing is like a living entity. I've always felt that way about, even when I was a kid, like I had my stuffed animals, and to me, when I was little, they were real. You know, they were alive. And I remember, I think it freaked my dad out a little bit. One day I was playing with my little angel dog. It was this cute little dog with wings. So sweet. And I don't know what set him off, but he grabbed it and he threw it against the wall. Hard. And that hurt me somewhere deeply inside. It's a place that I've never, it's deep, like it's not a place that I generally have access to. But once or twice I've felt thinking about it, like this sting in my belly, like in my womb, like deep. Anyway, that's not the point. It's just that it was real to me, and that was like a huge betrayal. This person whom I loved could kill something that I also loved. Like it didn't even matter. And that's kind of what this experience is like. is like we created, like this thing is alive to me and you're just killing it like it doesn't even matter. And so now I've got it on life support. And I can't just let it go. It's, I would be loyal to this thing forever because it's alive and because I love it. And upon realizing this, we could just as easily, probably as his side, we could get rid of this if we wanted. Like, okay, like continue on with your life, with your reality, like keep doing your shit, like separate yourself physically, like from this person. That's fine, but that doesn't really do much for us because so much of our energy is still trapped. It's still here in this, like, dedicated to it. So then I kind of realized that it's not real. It's not killing anything. To let it go. And I don't know if I can find the same depth that I'd first felt it in. Although I feel it inside of me now, like I have this peace now, but with words, I don't know if I can access them. Obviously, like words, I feel like incompetent. It's a bit humiliating doing this. Like so the matrix is a web that we're all caught in through our heart spaces. We've created this line from one person to another. And through it, everyone's connected to somebody and they're stuck in that dynamic here in this place. They're free here. They're stuck here. And so it's boom, 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 boom throughout the whole world. All these people, we're all intertwined to each other. That's how it works, right? But it doesn't have to be that way. And finally, I've released him. I've settled the emotions. I don't need him to be in my life anymore. I'm prepared to be completely separate from that person and continue on in a way that was better than when he found me. I'm leaving it better than I'm coming into it, and I'm ready to be like fully connected to someone else. I am connected with someone else, but not fully. But now I see that I can do it openly. I can go freely into a connection. I can go fully into a connection and give everything, but also it can end and we can separate and nothing is lost. nothing is dead. I've never had that experience before. And we can do this with all of our relationships, with our family. You know, we've built a lot of like negative cycles and negative stuff in. For example, with my father, it's been, we're connected, right? Because we love each other, but the connection itself is a very negative entity. But you think you have to be loyal to that thing because you love that thing. You can't let that thing die. You would be a bad person for that. Like, you just can't even conceive of it. And now I can see that you can fully remove yourself from that connection, from that person, and then they'll do their thing. You know, they can remove themselves. They may have to work a little bit through things. I don't know, but they can, once you separate yourself, that frees them to be able to separate themselves too. Because you see that once I've done this, I've taken all of my energy away, and he's done this. He's taken all of his masculine. All that's left here is this little bit of feminine energy that belongs to him, that he has never had to consider before. He's never taken it seriously because it's the emotion that's still there and still pokes at him, but he doesn't have to, it doesn't take up that much space in his life. He can ignore it. And now it's really, when that's the only thing left, it's on the ultimate life support here. It's the masculine that decides when a connection is over. Fully over. To free both parties, I guess, to free everything. He's the one that feels that final pinch of the moment of death as you unplug the energetic force and it becomes nothing. So it's nice to know that you've felt so much of it. You've gone through a lot of the intensity of the feelings, but he feels it too. And right at the very end, like he has to feel it, he has to know it, and he has to make that call. And you trust that at the right time he will, because there's no other choice. You're not coming back. No one's coming back here. You don't have to. You don't want to. And so then it's over. That's like the first tear in the web of the matrix. And now it'll open. It's like a little release that's going to start to just rip and rip and rip and rip at so many people's hearts as they tear apart from these connections that are on life support, that are not fully activated anymore because people feel trapped in them, but they don't want to be there. These connections, these entities, like little spirits or souls, are just going to be released. I don't know what they are. I don't know what happens to them, where they go, but I'm not worried about it anymore. And I think it's going to be it's going to be like such a freeing thing for the heart space. And you know, it's up to him how long he needs to hold on to that before he's able to let it go. This person, he holds on to things. He lets them go here so easily. He can let that go, but here, he's got a collection, you know. starting with the father of holding on to something that's dead. But yeah, like with my family, the way that things are, the way that I interact with them, with pretty much everyone in my life, it's something that I don't want anymore. I never really wanted. I just, we just played along, but we never really connected with each other. And now I can say, energetically, I'm not contributing to this anymore. Which you may still be in each other's lives and you may still interact, but with every interaction you can come in, whoop, create that entity, have that interaction, whoop, separate yourself from it. So it doesn't have to grow and grow and grow into this thing of resentment. You can come into it new. They can meet you where you're at, play around with it. Whatever happens, doesn't matter. At the end, you separate yourself. You can start fresh again next time until something comes along in a way that you actually want to grow with together. And then, okay, I like this. Let's keep doing it. You keep going until basically until you don't want it. And like it will be so much more simple. Relationship will be so much more simple. You can start with a clean slate every time. But you can also grow really, really strong with someone without fear. And you can grow, and then the thing can become fully formed and beautiful and put so much out into the world. And then you can say, we're done with that. Woo, let's do a new one. Let's start again differently. I think that's beautiful. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. And that's ultimately the point that I wanted to get across, and hopefully a little bit of that understanding, a little bit of that beauty translated. I'm excited about knowing that, about feeling that way. And maybe it has to go around the whole world, If, for example, if this were the first hair, and I were the first one or the first group of people to say, yeah, I'm completely releasing this, then the new person whom I'm connected to, I'm able to give him everything, except each of us may still have that sliver, like from our past. And maybe that's how it'll go all around the world, as we're connecting. We're able to connect almost fully, to disconnect almost fully from this situation, except that last little sliver of that masculine holding on to what he had, the thing that he can't let go of, that may be felt by every masculine in the world. They almost completely move on, but they're still holding on to a little bit, and I'm still held by my tail end by that person. And so I'm unable to give myself completely. I give myself as much as I'm able. It would be complete, but I'm not set free yet fully. And then maybe like a rubber band, at some point it comes all the way back around to that first person, because they're all connected, and then there's a smack and it just everyone just explodes into freedom. It's exciting. 2027? Don't know. I'm enjoying the timeline. I'm enjoying the way things are moving, and it doesn't have to happen all at once. Right now, for me, nothing is happening. Nothing is happening, except I'm playing around with these cards, and I'm talking into a camera now sometimes. I'm just like stumbling through. But most of the time I'm just being good to myself as well as I know how. So yeah. Oh, 55:15. Well, that's pretty good timing. This is gonna be the cover. It's fine. It's fine, we're fine. I don't have anything else to say. I'm gonna go get eggs. All right. See ya.